Once again, we're staying in our ground floor plan.dwg file. And in this video, we're going to take a deeper dive into lines, arcs, and circles. Now, you'll notice at the moment, we're zoomed in where we created our little rectangular table earlier in the previous video. What I'd like you to do is double-click on the mouse wheel to zoom to the visible extents of the objects in the drawing. Now you'll notice on the right hand side of the building there's a doorway here about halfway down. Using zoom and pan, get yourself into a space that looks a bit like that. So that door is kind of central over here, but you can see this grid line and you can see this grid line. Then jump up to the layers panel and click on the layer drop down. You're looking for a layer that ends in the word site, S-I-T-E. It's green, that one there. So we're now going to place a rectangular group of sight lines ready for a landscaping area so that when people come out of this door, there's an area for them to sit and have a break, have a bite to eat, enjoy the sunshine, get away from their screens, etc. So let's take a look at how creating a line or lines using our object snaps and our object snap tracking is easy to do. Go to the draw panel, click on the line command, like so. Now, you'll notice there is an intersection of the purple grid line and the wall just there. Can you see the intersection snap? Left click on that intersection. And we're going to drag the line out. Now, your object snap tracking and your polar tracking should still be on. So as you drag outwards, can you see the polar tracking kicks in? Using direct distance entry, type in 1, 5, and then 3 zeros. 15,000 millimeters or 15 meters. Press enter. And there's your first line. So that's the extent horizontally of our landscaped area. Now you can see the other grid line down here. Go and hover over the endpoint snap of it like so. And then drag gently to the right and your object snap tracking will kick in. Can you see that? It just locks in on that intersection right there. Left click. You now know that that's dead vertical because it's all lined in with that intersection. And then what we're going to do now, we're going to come back this way. There's an intersection of the grid and the wall just there. Can you see the intersection snap at the bottom of the screen? Left click again and enter to finish. Job done. You've now placed the boundary of the landscaped area that's going to be worked on for people to have a break. It's going to be like a recreational area. Okay, let's zoom out a bit, roll back on the wheel, pan across a bit, and we're going to pan down to that table that we created in the previous video. There we go. Pan and zoom. Get that nicely placed in the center of the screen. Now, before we do anything else, let's jump back to the right layer. Layer drop down again. And you want this one here. A700 MFFE. Not MH, just MFFE. That one there. Then we're on the right layer to create the furniture again. It's a really good habit to get into to make sure that you select your layer before you start drafting. Saves you having to go and find objects later, change their layer properties, etc. Okay, we're going to take a look at drawing arcs now. So we're going to add an arc to this right hand vertical edge of the table. So we're going up to the draw panel again. There's the arc flyout and you want start, center, end, like so. And we're going to start at this point here. So we're going to left click on the end point, go to the midpoint snap there, and then go to that end point there. Now that is a perfect arc, isn't it? But what might happen is you might click in the wrong order. Let me just hit escape to cancel that arc command. Go back to the arc flyer on the draw panel, start, center, end. Now let's say I started at the top, end point, and midpoint, and end point. Can you see there? I've gone, instead of going counterclockwise, I've gone clockwise creating that particular arc. So that's the wrong way around. So all you do is what the undo is for up here on the quick access toolbar. Click on undo once, you lose the arc. You go back to the arc, start, center, end on the draw panel there, and you start this way. End point there, left click. Midpoint there, left click. End point there, left click. Now you'll notice, can you see on the command line at the bottom of the screen there, hold control to switch direction. Can you see that? If I hold control, I can hold down the control key and it'll switch the direction anyway, even though I was going in the right direction. So that control key is incredibly useful for switching the direction of arcs if you need to. So I'll just undo that. Let's do it one more time. Start, center, end. So we'll start there, endpoint snap, midpoint snap, endpoint snap. So that's one end of our table with an arc. Let's do another arc on the other end. Now I can just right click and repeat arc, but that won't go back to the specific arc that I want. It will just start the default arc, which is, when you look at the flyout, the 3-point arc. I don't want that. I need start, center, end. So just be aware of that. You do need to go back up to the draw panel to get the start, center, end arc. Now this time we will start at the top, endpoint snap there, and find the midpoint snap and down to the endpoint snap. Easily done. Now we've got a rectangle here that is still one object. We're going to go to the modify panel and use this command here, explode. So we click on explode. We then select the rectangle, click on it, press enter to confirm. It doesn't actually look any different, does it? That's because it is still a group of 4 individual lines. A polyline is a compound object made up of a group of segments, line segments in this case. What you've done is you've broken the compound polyline into its component parts, which are now 4 lines, by exploding it. Can you see that? So the 2 vertical lines, you can select those, click on each one, right click, and on the shortcut menu, select erase. So we've now got a nice table with rounded ends. What we're going to do now is use some object snap tracking to place a circular insert in the center of the table. So we go up to the draw panel again, circle flyout, and we go center, radius. And we utilize our object snap tracking. So I hover over that midpoint there. Remember, don't click. I then hover over that midpoint there. Remember, don't click. As we drag the mouse downwards, you'll get the intersection of the 2 polar tracking lines going through each midpoint. Left click. That is the center of your circle, and the radius of that is going to be 800. Press enter to confirm. Job done. Now that's really useful, isn't it? We've used a bit of object snap tracking, a bit of exploding. That's created a really nice looking table. Now, what about a different type of circle? Let's go up to the circle flyout here and select center, diameter. So this time we're going to place a center point of our circle somewhere, but it'll have a diameter value that you put in. I'm going to go over here to sort of the top right corner of this grid square. I'm going to click about there. Left click, and then as you drag outwards, keep an eye on that prompt on the dynamic input. It says specify diameter of circle 1600. So the default is 1600 diameter. Funnily enough, the last circle we created in the center of the bigger table had an 800 radius, which would also give it a 1600 diameter. Look down at the command line and you can see there that you've got radius of circle, diameter of circle. It all tallies up. So AutoCAD has remembered the radius of the last circle that you placed, 800, and is now putting it into the diameter setting and making it 1600. So if you accept that default of 1600, all you've got to do is click on the center point, press enter to accept that default 1600, and there you go. There's your circle of diameter 1600. Very quick if you've got lots of circles of the same diameter or the same radius to place in your drawings.